Share your screen. Whatever.
Okay, how's everybody doing today?
Yeah.
And the commission, are we doing today? Good.
All right.
It's the holiday month. We're all excited. Good. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. All right, I'll call the meeting to order. This is the Brewery District Historic District Commission. Welcome. It's our December meeting. So you guys all know our next business meeting will be Thursday, December 22nd. Thank you all for so close to the holiday at noon and in this room. So, and obviously we'll introduce our staff in a second. You can hear about what they've got to say. So do you want to do that now? Introduce yourselves?
Yes,
Okay.
Hunter Rayfield, Associate Planner in the Planning Division. I'll be taking over for Connie Torbeck.
Welcome. We're thrilled to have you.
And I'm Kimberly Bernard-Sheehy, Assistant Historic Preservation Officer. I get to run the tech here.
We're happy to have you as the tech runner. Cool. Will the commission introduce themselves and say they're present?
Matt Lee here, present.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Daniel Mather, present.
Devyani Puranik present.
And Cynthia Hunt present. So we're cool with that. Great. So shall we walk through the staff approvals?
Sounds good.
Okay.
There are,
We need to swear in staff.
I'm sorry.
We need to swear in staff.
Oh, thank you very much. I told you guys, so you remind me. Okay. You raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you very much, sir. Would you like to discuss the staff approvals, the long list of?
There are no staff approvals for.
Thank you very much. All right. Next question is minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes.
Any questions, any revisions, any issues? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Ready? Anything else you need to know for that?
No.
Okay, great. Would you like to walk through the application?
Yes.
Thank you.
Our first agenda item is case BD 22-12-001A, 684 South High Street. This is a request for action. Thank you. Proposed work description: remove all existing exterior gooseneck, sconce, and emergency light fixtures, repair fastener holes as needed, paint previously painted exterior brick walls, color Benjamin Moore 205, simply irresistible, install new pre-finished metal railing system at existing concrete patio, install new metal trellis and polycarbonate system per submitted drawings, color INR 500 black, install new Alumilux exterior light sconces per submitted product information, color black. Staff analysis: is the commission considering the murals part of the building, part of the painting of the building, or as part of the signage? HPO staff requires that all signage mountings on brick buildings are installed into the mortar, not the face of the brick. Staff recommendation: staff recommends approval of BD 22-12-014 or -001A 684 South High Street as submitted, with any and all clarifications to be submitted to HPO staff for review and approval prior to issuance of a certificate.
So for your assessment, did you consider it part of the building or signage?
Is that part of B or?
This is part of A.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it. Good.
Yes.
Do you have a sense of that? I think we thought about it as signage when we talked about it. There, okay. But let's let you guys tell your story. Okay, can you raise your right hand? Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Good, thank you. Can you introduce yourselves, please? And your roles?
Rosa Blumenscheid, Rhythm Architecture.
Okay,
Andrew Fury, Rhythm Architecture. Nelson Query, Tech.
thank you. Is there stuff that you guys would like to share with us?
Yes, so let's start with the canopy on the north side of the building, and we can work our way around. So we presented this a few months ago, and we've added some additional details and clarification based on commission feedback.
Mhm.
So the proposed scope is to create steel structure with polycarbonate paneling system that sits on top of it. So it will allow enough light and transparency to come into the patio and not feel so closed, but also still shed water because this is Ohio. Repaint the existing building, put in new sconce light fixtures between the windows, and then replace the existing patio railing with new wood and metal railing as shown. And then there is existing landscape beds adjacent to the patio that we're going to maintain, and we're going to put new plantings in. Do we have that spec?
Those are on the sidewalk? Or they're next
Yeah,
to
they're
the-
between the sidewalk and the existing patio.
Okay. So they're right next to the patio. They're not, there's another group of plantings on the sidewalk, I think.
So it's parking, sidewalk, existing landscape beds, existing patio.
Okay.
So we're gonna maintain those landscape beds, put in new plantings. We haven't selected those plantings yet. We're gonna remove all of those many light fixtures that Panera had installed on all sides of the building, clean it up. Moving around to the west side of the building. So the entirety of the building is going to be painted this color.
Simply irresistible.
And then as far as the mural is concerned. So that isn't a built sign. It is, I would consider that artwork as part of a mural that goes on the painted facade. Because we do have signage in that Route 66 style sign that we're doing. But the mural on the side of the building, I would contest that that's part of the signage packet. More of a.
Do you understand that's your perspective?
Yes,
Okay.
because it's not anchored into the brick, it's not, it's painted on, it's an applique.
And was there a sign? I don't think there was a mural there before, right?
Correct. So that's application A. Application B is the monument.
And the mural,
itself.
isn't there a mural, as you would describe it, on the north facade as well?
Yes,
Okay. And is that an application A or B?
A.
That's what.
I thought they were in B. I'm totally confused.
Are they in B?
So
Yeah.
everything that's happening on the building as far as painting is concerned is part of A, and then the big sign is.
Paint one Cobra logo on east exterior wall is backside. That's B. And then A has no murals per se, it's noted per se in the report description.
Okay. We can move that over to
Yeah.
B, that's fine.
Either place is fine with us, right?
I think let's keep it, well,
What would you prefer?
it seems to me that it's the murals, we're gonna have some discussion about the murals and it's smarter to keep it at B as part of the conceptual
That's fair.
package.
Okay, that's fine.
That being said, A, I can't see anything to object to. Well, looks good to me.
Okay. Any other comments?
Looks great.
Anything you want to highlight?
No, I appreciate the package. It's very clear and easy to understand, so appreciate the work on that.
And once I get over the shock of simply irresistible, I can support it. Not the name, the color, but the name made it more fun.
Yeah, the original photos really helped
Yeah,
with that pink color especially.
right. Okay, so do we need to take a motion for A?
Yes.
Would you like us to do that? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving passed. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now for B. This might be a little more fun.
Okay. Application BD -22-12-001B. Also at 684 South High Street, this is a conceptual review. Proposed work description, modifying existing circa 1948 pole sign for submitted renderings, metal sign cabinet to remain unpainted, paint background of the two, sign faces black with yellow and white text and logos, paint sign black, paint one Cobra logo on east exterior wall, and install address on east exterior wall, and charming cocktails above south entrance. Staff analysis concludes, since the original tiles were covered by the last applicant, should these be restored, or is it okay to paint over the tile? Per the Short North design guidelines, the signage message should be designed in a simple fashion and may include the business name, logo, function, and or street number or address and related artistic treatments. Telephone numbers and web addresses are not appropriate. Logos identifying the primary business may be integrated as an accent within walls. However, logos advertising individual products apart from the primary business are not supported. Additionally, per the guidelines, each ground floor tenant space or building, if single tenant occupancy, may have one projecting sign and either one wall sign or awning sign as approved by the commission. If a commercial property has a door with a transom, the address numbers are placed there in vinyl. Staff recommendation, commissioners should offer design feedback that can be utilized by the applicant to further refine the proposal for review at a future meeting. And some comments from the from November's business meeting. The vertical element of the existing sign should not be painted. Use cues from the historic postcard in regard to simplicity of text and logos for new signage. What are the dimensions / square footage of the proposed Cobra painting on the west wall? And does the restaurant have any existing corporate logo or signage at other restaurants?
Take it over. Yeah, so working backward, this is the first space that they'll occupy, so they don't have it existing, but the artwork for the logos, taglines, and mural art exist out in the world on social media, apparel, and just some other things that have circulated, pop-up shop and a couple other events. So that's kind of out there, and we would hope to keep that the same since that's the brand that has been shown to the world thus far. As for the tile structure, the pillar, we were doing some digging and trying to figure out, if there was another way around it, but it seemed like the best application would be to keep the existing tile. And it looks, if you go back through Google history or these reference, so that's the tile that exists. What was there before was what looks like a aluminum sheet tile that we are assuming was stripped to be replaced with a hardy board and then the tile. I don't know. We couldn't determine whether or not it's still under there, but just based off of the look of it, it seems like it would have had to be taken off to have a tile application put over top of it. So if there's a way that we can keep that black pillar as a grounding moment to kind of pull together the elements from the north side of the building and then that kind of wrap in the top of the building, that would be preferred. And then signage wise, we're looking at a few different options and seeing what comes back from a cost perspective. But as of now, the lower cost version would be just a simple ACM backer material with a permanent Avery vinyl application. And then we're also looking at a dimensional letter application as well and seeing what that would come back as.
Did he cover all the questions?
Oh, and this, I didn't comment on the artwork on over the door. So in the existing building, they had the address on both, above both the door and that transom facing the east side of the building. So we were wondering if that would be, allowable to just have it on that one side, since it kind of is the more focal side of the building, although it's not
They had it in the transom, right?
yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
so what are you asking?
Oh, well, so position wise, I guess there was two questions. One was, can it be on just the non-door side of the building? And then the other one would be, can it be above and not in the window itself?
Where's the number now on your design?
It's what, yes, circling right there, yeah.
Oh, is that the number?
Yeah.
For that dress. Yeah. So that's directly contrary.
And then previously, in Panera version, it has 684 over the door and on that side, so kind of in both locations. But we were hoping to use that entryway to, just have that kind of more playful conversation coming in, speaking to the, charming cocktails as kind of a reference to Cobra itself, but also the business.
Anything else we need to cover, Hunter?
Did you provide the dimensions, square footage for the,
Yeah, so both of those are about 60 inches by 60 inches wide by 80 inches tall. The mural pieces.
Which pieces are you talking about?
The painted mural.
The
Okay.
painted mural, so that one, the
60
east,
by,
80.
which is,
Sure, what is the size
I can't remember. I was.
limitation?
What's the limitation
for
for
last
for signage?
I don't have that in front of me,
Yes,
but I can look that up.
would be great.
Okay, just gonna,
Yeah,
I'm a little confused by the lettering above the doors.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what you want. I think
He wants to not have to put it in the transom. He wants to keep it above the door
Okay.
on one side as the address and on the other side as the charming cocktails.
Yes.
Playful,
got it.
tagline.
And those are vinyl lettering?
Those are dimensional,
Right.
metal,
Okay.
so they'd stand off the
Gotcha.
face of the brick.
I think the guidelines pretty clearly say transom vinyl letters.
Right. I mean,
Jump in.
I'm not helping it. Okay, while they're looking for the size for the mural, let's just do the lettering on the doors.
Okay,
I don't think we can, I think we have to make you put it in the transom.
and it needs to be the address.
Okay, so we can't put the little charming cocktails tagline, and it has to be the address. in
You can
both
do that if you
places.
want that to be your one sign on the face of the building.
Say that again.
You can do that if you want that to be your one sign on the face of the building. I don't think you want to do that.
Got it, okay.
Clarification, is this, you consider this a wall sign?
They consider it a mural. Question is, do we consider it a
You
wall
consider,
sign?
you consider it a wall sign.
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
The short North design guidelines state 4 wall signs, the maximum allowable area for a wall sign that would be supported is 25 square feet. And I believe the dimensions for 60 inches by 80 inches would be 33 square feet.
48. 30, what's the dimensionality again?
60, roughly 60 by 80.
60
Yeah,
times 8 is
it's 5 by
48,
7.
480, yeah.
Yeah,
Less than that.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So it's gonna shrink a little bit
shrink slightly. Yeah, that's
But-
not a problem.
One wall sign.
on the whole building.
Yeah, that's what it says.
It's a lot of building.
I know.
So much building.
I know.
Yeah, not to put you on the spot, I guess, but how does a mural differentiate from a wall sign in the guidelines? If we could clarify that a little bit. And that's probably a really technical question, so,
We might need to research that outside.
yeah. And
That would,
Generally, the mural stuff that we've seen before has been like a whole wall or something that is really,
I would guess that it's very different
An event.
than the like actual logo or
Right.
brand artwork.
Right.
So where I'm going with that is, to me, if you did a mural, it should capture the vibe of what you're trying to do, but maybe not be so direct as the actual artwork of the branding, if that makes sense.
So we have only had a couple of murals to your
Yeah.
point, so I think we're probably not as familiar with the
I
requirements.
don't object to the idea of a mural personally, because I think there's a lot of wall area, to your point,
Yeah.
that you're trying to,
Yeah.
What's the actual logo of the business from the sign? What would you say is the
Yeah, so
corporate logo?
the word mark is, so what's on the sign, and then that little, on the secondary sign, the cobra with the half fang and the drop, that's the logo mark.
okay.
So that is the one, so kind of a cleaner version of that is what's on the north side of the building, in between the furthest exit and the next bay of windows. And then the one that's on the east side of the building, or west side of the building is, thank you,
Is what?
it's just another, like a secondary mark that shows up on, other things internally. So like it'll be on menu graphics and, possibly apparel and other merchandise. And it's a cobra drinking a martini.
What's the little moon with waves on top of the sign? What?
Yeah, so that's just another piece of one of the graphic elements that shows up in some of the artwork.
Okay.
Kind of ties back into that nighttime, good night bar. kind
So
of
our
vibe.
issue is this is classic mid-century, right, in terms of the signage? And we have pretty strict limitations on what we can and can't do. And I think you are in excess, in my mind, of the verbiage and the busyness of the signs. And by putting in the black to black it out, you don't celebrate the sign, in my opinion, in the same way that it would have been in a mid-century application. So that's what I'm struggling with.
For the vertical thing.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
right,
It's a lot.
exactly.
Lot going on there.
Yeah, if I could say it differently.
Please do. You
Uh,
always do a better job than I.
I think less words, so like Cobra obviously
Mhm.
makes sense. But like Matt made a good point in our business meeting that if you look at the Claremont sign, that
Yep.
they just had the Claremont and then they had a very steak and seafood,
Right,
seafood and steak.
steakhouse,
Steak
or,
and- yeah.
or seafood and steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, on one side it's
Yeah.
one way, on the other side it's different.
Actually, I think it was two different periods.
Yeah, or, yeah.
And so, yeah, like pick 3 words and put it on that section of the sign. And I think, there's some logic to that because it's just larger lettering you can get away with by doing that.
And we're not suggesting you go to like circus lettering like this, right? But the feel is,
Yeah, I mean, I like your branding, that's
Right,
not the
absolutely.
objecting to that at all.
Yeah.
It's just the amount of information, right? Is that
Right.
and the black, I think the
The
black
black.
vertical.
Yeah, like black vertical. My opinion is that it sort of erases the architectural element,
Right.
it kind of makes it go away, the
Exactly.
black vertical. And, there's these two things that clip onto it. So the thing it clips onto or that they clip onto kind of wants to be
Strong.
contrasting.
Mhm. Yeah, we had another version of it where we kind of inverted the, because basically the colorway of like the whole design scheme is that yellow, the red that's in the waves at the top, black, green, and then a green. And we had one where it was kind of inverted so that the background was yellow, the lettering was red, and black. So we could look at that again. If that
I
would
think
feel-
you need to go back and look at truly what the guidelines say too, in terms of what we can allow and not allow. But I think the key is this mural question beyond the vertical sign.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of another mural in the Brewery District.
Yeah, we did do one on one of the history buildings on the north side of one of the history buildings.
Lovers?
Say it again.
Was it for Lovers?
Maybe it was for Lumber.
We approved it.
I don't remember if that was the one. I know we approved one at one point in time. I'm thinking it was closer up the street and maybe it didn't get built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can you also do that for us, Hunter? Can you go back and see what we have approved?
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
I like the word Cobra in the mural, that is where I think it kicks more into a sign.
Sign. We did, and it's
To me.
perfect.
You know,
Remember the Harvest Building?
Yeah, and we rejected that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a gigantic harvest thing that was it. We just, we have to live within the guidelines that we are supplying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt makes a really good point about the lettering in that wall sign.
Mhm.
And then if you didn't have lettering, it was all graphics and it were larger scale, it might be a mural instead of a wall sign.
And maybe not just closed down like a sign.
Mhm.
To your point, I think, is the other thing you were trying to say.
I would look at a precedent from, that got approved through the Shore North guidelines, say here's what got approved.
Or a couple. And
Yeah.
Hunter can help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Look
and
at some
and then
stuff.
that gives us a way to,
And if you could then supply those to us too, as part of your report the next time, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I also suspect that if you wanted to do a mural, the commission would be more friendly to doing it on the north facade. The facade that does not face High Street or German Village.
It would depend on what it was, but yeah, I'm not close to either place if it's the right mural. And we can defend it.
Yeah, help us defend it.
Okay.
And so we're not up for setting new precedent for something that doesn't celebrate the building in a very direct way. We had a situation where we had a sign for the Southwind Motel that wasn't the original sign, but it was such a great mid-century modern take on it that we were okay with it. I mean, it was so period. It was really, they did an amazing job with that. Now, yours, building's totally different, so we get that. And we want to work with you. We just, I think we need another cycle on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Well, this is conceptual. And can I ask a quick question?
sure.
So with the vertical elements, are you opposed to us keeping the tile and painting it? If it were better integrated into,
I think since it's been painted before, I wouldn't stomp on that. I don't know, what do you think?
I'd probably be okay with that. I mean, I think if you look at the Claremont signs, the two panels stand out the most, and then that vertical plane is, a secondary piece.
Right.
And I think that's what you're getting at, is
Yeah.
they need, the vertical piece needs to recede a little bit, so maybe it's a different color. I don't know. We'll leave that to you guys to
It
think.
needs to be weighty,
Right,
but not primary.
yeah.
I'm okay with you leaving the material on the vertical element.
Yeah.
I would just let us know if, well, my concern would be the health of the sign, if it's leaking or if the envelope of that vertical piece is leaking and it's deteriorating from within, that would be my biggest concern. I don't want to see it deteriorate and then have to be torn down 20 years from now. Right.
So actually having that information come back at your next application would be very helpful. So you can be assured of that.
Yeah,
That's a very good point. See, Rick. Cool. Is there anything else we want to bring up? Is there anything we missed not in talking about it?
Those sign cabinets are those backlit, right? No?
No.
Okay,
Panera had installed lit can letters on it,
okay.
but those were powered separately from a different line that they installed. So the cabinet of the actual box is steel.
Okay. So your letters will be lit similar way or what were you?
No, they'll be I think just lit from the roof line.
Roof line?
Yeah.
Okay with that?
I think that falls under the guidelines.
Right. Good. Anything else you guys want to ask about?
I think you addressed every.
Okay. Anything else we want to say?
No, I mean, I think what you're trying to capture, the kind of tone of it is on line with what we want to see, at least
We're
to me,
supportive.
yeah, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Smart idea to put this in B right there. Okay. This is old business, right? This is the old business?
Yes.
Okay.
Whole business. This is case BD 22-12 002 897 South Front Street. This is a request for action The work description is modify previous approval, case BD 21 06 003 for a new rear addition per submitted drawings, add new ADA ramp on the rear of the completed addition, and switching the locations of one rear door and one rear window on the first floor of the rear elevation per submitted drawings. Staff analysis during the November 17th business meeting discussed powder coated paint finish for the railing. Staff recommend approval of case BD 22-12-002, 897 South Front Street with the condition for the new ADA ramp and balcony railings to be painted with a black powder coated finish to maintain a consistent appearance.
We also talked about making them very simple. Is that in the design as it stands? Are we okay with the design as it stands, or?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, sorry. Would you guys like to raise your right hand?
Sure.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Really.
And would you like to introduce yourself and your role on this occasion?
My name's Jason Pitstick, and I'm the owner of the building.
Mr. Pitstick?
Kyle Green, one of the architects.
Got it. Great.
Um,
Please describe your project.
Yes, thanks. So I'm sorry, I'm back after the business meeting. I thought we cleared everything up, but we talked about the railings, the minimal sides, and we're okay with all that. It'll just be the handrail. And part of that was the requirement for it to be a black color. I apologize, I misspoke at the time. I thought that would be no big deal. So the ramps are, and we looked at a few different companies. The ramps that we'd like to use are typically the aluminum finish. Since we already had this application through, we wanted to come today to sort of just discuss the black finish with you. So I guess we're a little concerned about wearing and sort of chipping and scuffing and maintenance of the black of the sort of the custom finish on the railing, and we wanted to sort of ask if that was sort of just the handrail, how that what you guys assumed on that, so that we could.
As opposed to the ramp itself? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Since these are sort of typically the aluminum finish, we think that the aluminum finish is probably going to hold up better over time with the weather and sort of normal use. And it would, and understand why you guys wanted the black finish with the railing. We're just hoping that since it's on the back of the building at the parking lot, that maybe an aluminum finish would be acceptable. So since we already have this
Remind
schedule.
us what the use is?
Sorry.
Remind us what the use of the building is going to be?
It's an office. It was an office. Jason's been in there. How long have you been in?
Yeah, I bought it. It was an attorney's office since the late 70s. I bought it in 2005. And the ultimate goal actually is to convert it back to a residence. But I'm still going to work there for a little bit longer. And we put the addition on, not understanding some of the ramifications with the city of Columbus, which, with all due respect, I just didn't realize. So ultimately, we're trying not to do more of at some point that ramp, if it becomes a residence, that ramp won't be needed anymore unless somebody moves in there who wants it. But that's not really the way that should look back there.
I understand this is not a commitment, but what's your timing thinking?
For how long? I'm gonna be there as an office at least 24 months.
Okay.
I can't speak further than that, but I've lived in Bexley. If I found this facility out a little closer or over there, if the opportunity arose, I would make that move. We don't have a plan just yet. But the way we designed that addition, the conference room really is going to be a master bedroom, and so we kind of have to put a lot of thought into that. The way we rearranged the building to make it, that's going to be a nice home for somebody at some point.
It was obviously originally a home, and there's residences next door, so you think either, and there's also businesses, so it fits in either way. But yeah, that's sort of what we were thinking, and so we just sort of need to ask those, sort of get your opinion on the aluminum finish on the.
The aluminum products are are kind of mass produced and you can put them together and they're slightly more temporary from standpoint of, from what we were talking with the manufacturers, that's kind of what they're, you look at a lot of the pictures that are available, that's what they offer. That's kind of what we were assuming.
Mhm.
If it was on the front of the building, where you can see it from the street, I could see having an issue.
I think on the front of the building, there would be no question.
Yeah. Because the way those,
That's my sense.
the way those houses are on the hill, you really have to drive up my driveway all the way up to really be able to see that ramp, because the railroad's behind us.
Our issue is precedence. So that's really what we're grappling with. What do we think?
I drove around trying to find a ramp anywhere and on a house like that, and I couldn't even locate one.
Precisely.
Mhm. Is the wooden or any other material an option at all, like the board ramps?
The challenge we ran into is the elevation, I'm sorry, kind of a bit.
No, go ahead.
We originally thought we were only gonna have an 8-inch step from the driveway to that back door, but the way the building got built, the foundation to make everything level, it turned out to be an 18-inch. So it's 2 steps off, which the ADA, ramifications of that is what is it, 1 foot of ramp for every inch of rise. So all of a sudden this ramp's gotten a little more
Yeah.
complicated than the original design was a one-sided ramp just that went up to the door, and that was gonna be a little easier to deal with.
Yeah.
I just don't have a sense of the wear and tear question.
So just to clarify, are both the walking surface and the handrails you want to be aluminum, or so the whole thing is just the unfinished
And it
aluminum?
comes that way, and I mean, when you buy them, that's how they are offered, and then finished aluminum,
Yeah, it's
but
polished and
Right,
yeah, it's
right.
not like raw or
Right,
anything.
okay.
Yeah.
So I just was making sure
But I heard a slight opening for maybe the handrail could be black and the bottom could be aluminum.
Well, that's what, yeah, I mean, that
Did
would
we
be
hear that?
an obvious,
We inferred that.
It was a question that I wanted to ask you when Hunter was going through the list. I heard
Would that be a more acceptable
handrail, and
alternative?
when my notes, I just wanted to clarify that. I think our preference would be that it was all just aluminum, all one color or all one finish, for sure. But
Would
what
it be an acceptable alternative?
do you think about?
As a
It's hard
negotiated
to
settlement?
order it that way is what, I mean, maybe we could field paint, after it gets, I mean, you really can't order it, at least from the 2 manufacturers I talked to,
Aluminum or nothing?
it comes in, well, the way it's kind of components that are all finished aluminum.
Keep this with you now.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with these products.
Anybody else know? Strikes me that I've seen them in other colors besides aluminum.
I think you're ordering a system, you're not building it for the
Right.
site, so
Yeah,
that's probably.
it's, I think in my mind, it's somewhat that when this gets converted, we want to be able to pull that out and not ruin the driveway. It's
Yeah.
not, and to do an 18-inch, like a concrete type situation is
Yeah,
it's
I mean-
way over the top.
I guess to me, as a commission, it doesn't matter if it's manufactured with the black color or you field paint it. I think we just want it to be black for the handrails, if that makes sense.
I think that I'm worried about the field painting and, the handrails, obviously, where people touch and.
Yeah,
Right.
the volume is
First.
not gonna be high though, I don't think.
That's true. Maybe it's never used.
Yeah,
But do the other commissioners think that a black handrail is gonna look good with the?
with the aluminum,
Well,
that's
I
fine.
don't know with the
We
glossy,
have a
From far away, yes.
yeah.
panda railing system.
So I think that you would lean toward, okaying the aluminum.
Yeah, I mean, you're stuck with the aluminum bottom no matter what.
Madam, you have an opinion?
I'm same with him. Just turning over.
The precedent thing is the only thing I'm
Yeah.
worried about.
I'm worried about that too.
We won't tell anybody.
And no one else will go around looking, right? Or do the research.
Yeah,
The only way to see it honestly is you'd have to
We
drive up my
understand that.
driveway and come out of the
We
house.
totally get that.
I mean, are you worried about precedent for other businesses? Or then other businesses just using off-the-shelf aluminum?
right. And then the next time it comes in, it's in front because
Because we allowed it, right? Well, whatever we do, we'd have to caveat in the decision to say only because you have to drive to the back of the property, as you've told us several times. And it's the property that fronts onto woods, right?
The railroad, with the
Yeah.
woods and then the railroad.
Right.
So you really have to,
Not even an alley back there.
there's no alley.
So it's not publicly visible and it's not really visible from the neighboring properties. Is that fair? Okay.
The neighboring properties can't see it.
They,
Well,
Bet they
I mean,
can.
no,
they can.
yeah, I mean, they're close enough houses that they,
Yeah, I mean, there's an interesting situation here where Jason graciously lets his neighbors use the driveway to get to the back of
But in other words, they're gonna be so thankful they aren't gonna care.
Well, other than that, where they have no way to get back there. And it's something that was, when you bought the building, there's just one driveway.
I'm just granting them there's never been an easement there. I'm just granting it as we
Yeah.
do this project, yeah.
But as you can see on one side, there's a big fence. The site's tight back there. I would say most of the neighbors, just maybe the one side, but I think they both have fences that would be much lower than,
Do
or
it.
much higher than this ramp.
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably a one off.
Yes, so the
Enough.
notes need to reflect, I mean, whoever does the motion
Yeah.
needs to craft it effectively.
Above motion.
Yes, who would like to do a motion?
I did the last one.
I'll give it a shot. So I'll move to approve the unfinished aluminum handrail. and
Unpainted,
ramp.
it's gonna be finished, right?
It's finished, yeah.
Yeah. Aren't you glad you took this
Yes.
responsibility?
So unpainted aluminum handrail and ramp system, understanding that this is a very unique situation in which it's not visible from a public right of way. It's barely visible from adjacent properties, and it's intended to be temporary.
And it's a business.
I can second that.
And it's a business, right? So you cool on that, Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Okay. Any other additions? Any questions? All in favor?
I
Aye.
Actually, I need a second.
Oh.
Forgot that.
I
Who would
like
like
to second, yeah.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. So we'll send the drawings. Yes.
Thank you.
But it's not gonna be a really crappy one. It's gonna be a nice one.
I'm very proud of that building and we're trying, it's gonna be way better than it was.
I
We're proud of
totally
it
get
too.
the-
That's why we wanted to
The
be
issue,
bought.
that's what I do all day long, fix elevation change issues on the outside building.
Okay. Anything else we need to discuss today? Anybody want to bring anything up?
No.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?